Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here, and we'll do a quick little video guide for the build I've been playing today in the second day of Season 5 that's been incredibly powerful, and that is the Fireball Sork. So basically the Gloves of the Illuminator and the Staff of Endless Rage are one of the many uniques that have gotten massive buffs this season, and making it so that Fireball is just really fun to play. So basically the way it works is the Gloves Illuminator makes it so that Fireball now bounces as it travels across the ground and explodes, and each time it hits the ground, but the explosion does a little bit less damage. Ideally you get down to 0%, and then you do get mana for every time the Fireball explodes, which basically makes Fireball free as long as you allow it to bounce. So don't knock it into a wall, you'll be totally fine. This also gives you a ton of critical strike chance, a ton of attack speed. It's really good in ranks to Fireball. And then our staff here, now this is a pretty good staff. I need to get a 925 version that has GA all over the place, but we're getting every third cast of Fireball launches 2 additional projectiles, and these deal up to 90% increased damage, so this can get even better than what you see right now. Gives you ranks of Fireball, gives you a chance for Fireball projectiles to get cast twice, Fireball projectile speed, intelligence. It's just really good staff, and this also means that when the third cast shoots out more Fireballs, they are more Fireballs bouncing, and you get more mana back. These are really the 2 uniques that you need to kind of start the build. As you can see, I have 3 Ubers or 3 mythics that I'd recommend for the build as well. I'm using pretty much all uniques except for 1 amulet here with 3 curses. But you can use like regular boots here. You don't necessarily need to use Esu's heirlooms, but let's just show off the gameplay. And pretty much the gameplay just consists of literally just walking forward and casting Fireball, and they bounce forward. They'll hit enemies, they will stun them, they will immobilize them. It's really important to, I think, get on your amulet either freeze or stun, because you want to crowd control enemies. If you're not going to use the Esu, if you're going to use the Esu's heirloom boots, you do need to be hard crowd controlling somewhere in your build. We do also pick up Immobilize on the passive tree. This just makes it so that we're going to be able to stagger bosses at a pretty decent pace. Ideally, we'd probably be using rare boots for even more stagger with like days, but it is what it is. I think maybe crit chance is probably better damage. So here we are. As you can see here, enemies pretty much don't get to fight back and pit tier 90 right now. We could probably go up even higher than this, but I haven't really been doing pit today almost at all. We've been doing a lot of Infernal Hordes and a lot of Tormented bosses. We've gone and killed every single Tormented boss. We've killed Uber Lilith. We've done up to a Infernal Horde 7, although the 7 really kicked our butt, so we did not get to clear all the way. And yeah, I'm playing with another Sork who's playing basically the same build, maybe a little bit difference on Paragon, and a Barbarian who's playing Whirlwind. And it, just feels pretty strong. I say one big drawback is probably a little bit squishy at times. However, as you can see here, enemies don't really get to fight back. And so that's pretty good in terms of being a nice survivability defensive layer. Is if every enemy you hit is basically going to be getting stunned from your lucky hit chance. You have a lot of fireballs in the air, and so they are all having the chance to do the lucky hit, which does make it incredibly strong. This reminds me a lot of like how Firebolt felt last season, where you're able just to freeze everything. Here you can just kind of do the same thing. And as you can see, like even the suppressor guys are getting absolutely suppressed themselves, and we just keep some fireballs clicking forwards. And even the Tyraels, does clear out the enemies a little bit. I'm probably overcasting a little bit as well. It's like a weird open layout. Where are my elite enemies? Here they are. Now, before you get all of the mythic uniques, there are quite a few good regular aspects that you can get. So like things like Snow Veiled, for example, will empower your ice armor here to make it so that you get unstoppable and damage reduction. I was even thinking of using Disobedience for a little bit. But against this boss here, you notice I'm going to try to keep them about this distance away from me at all times. And this is kind of because this is where the sweet spot is. So as our fireballs go out, they will... Ooh, I'm getting bounced. As the fireballs go out, they do spread out. And that spread can kind of like cause you to have a lot of overlap. And that overlap just does a lot of damage. Because you're kind of hitting with the first fireball, you're hitting with the second fireball, and sometimes you can hit with a third fireball. So especially really noticeable in big bosses like Duriel or the world boss, you'll see a ton of damage numbers going off, and it's just very, very powerful. I've put in all of the information that you're going to need to really make this build work for yourself on our Mobalytics like written guide here. I'm going to keep the Paragon tree here updated. I'm going to be adding more details and stuff, just like with the general gear stats and stuff. If you want to see like what the pre-mythic setup is kind of going to look like, you have things like Snow Veiled, Concussive Strikes, Aspect of Ancient Flame does give you quite a bit of attack speed. This is pretty nice, but I do believe that getting Starless Skies is even better. It just makes it so that resource is almost never a problem, even if you're hitting a wall and you're getting more damage, which is pretty nice. And right now for my armor, I'm actually doing topazes in my armor for even more damage. But if you want more survivability, you can go and get life. In terms of what goes in the jewelry, just, you know, get armor. If you need armor, get resistance if you need resistance. Luckily, Harlequin Crest now has a ton of armor, and Tyrael's Might has a ton of resistance. So this has 78 resistance to all elements, just baseline. So our resistances are looking very, very solid. And the max res here is getting pretty darn high for all of these. And then for just normal mapping and doing the pit, I would definitely use Fireball Enchantment. But if you're going to go and do like Tormented bosses, you probably want to use Ice Blades instead. And we do have to use Fireball, which I think is really dumb because Fireball itself does not apply burning for some reason. And so in order to apply burn, so we can take advantage of great things like Devouring Blaze and other things in the passive tree for big damage reduction from burning, we have to have that Firebolt enchant, which is something I hope that they fix in the future. I hope this video helps you out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. It's a very, very fun build, pretty easy to set up. And yeah, I'm probably gonna do a video talking about how I got so many mythics so quickly. So let me know if you guys are interested in that down below. We'll see you again soon.